No.
Magic
What
mushroom?
magic mushroom?
Oh my God, there's such a, and that tree in there, that's over 300 years old. Of course, it's
You
dead.
gotta say it louder, Mommy.
Oh, the tree way deep in there it's only about 10 feet tall, and it's about
The
20
magic
feet in
tree?
diameter. No, this is a different story. This is the tree that George Washington slept under, and it's over 300 years old, and it's
Which one,
dead.
ma'am? Which one?
Well, it's kind of covered. Can you see it? Oh, here is a good picture. It looks kind of like looks like an elephant. Look, do you see it from here? Doesn't it look like a mouth open
wow.
like that? Well, this tree
Wow.
is so old, they wanted to designate it one of the oldest trees in Maryland, but it was kind of hit by lightning. And then it
wow.
rotted and it was hit by lightning. So I'd climb up this tree and just stay in the branches. It had little steps from branches that had fallen off. They were just like little stairs, and I'd climb up there, and it was all kind of rotting. It was all gooey, and all this yucky, smelly, sweet smelling rot was there. And now it's really dead, I think. But anyway, that's George Washington slept under that tree. Well, so they say, but you know, so many things are true, so you just don't know.
What about the magic mushrooms? I don't know that. Oh.
It's a new story.
Oh.
It's only very new. But these are the ones I want to dig up. This is where the windmill was. This is where the windmill was, and the stump that's coming up there, that was one of the legs of the windmill. And so it was a big well here, or cistern, for them to pump the water, and that's how they got running cold water. But if the wind wasn't blowing, they'd have to pump it by hand. But when we got here, the windmill had been taken down, and so my father had this idea to make a patio. So he filled in the cistern and with this brick, and every 5 or 10 years it would start sinking. And so he'd take all the brick out and he'd fill it up so it was in a dome.
Oh.
And then it would sink. In a couple years it would
I didn't know
sink.
that's why it sunk.
That's why it kept
why it was
sinking.
always like
Yeah, because it was actually a cistern there. And that picture I have of my dad, my grandfather, and my uncle building this wall. I have this picture of them building this wall in their suit and tie kind of thing. It was, but this is a camellia. Oh, so here it was the fall, and you know, I was just trying to clean up the yard, and I came over here, and there were puffballs, and they were like gigantic, pure white puffballs all around here. And I said to my friend, I said, "Oh my God, that's a puffball." And he said, "What is a puffball?" I said, "A puffball."
How big was them? Was they?
Oh, the biggest one was as big as a soccer ball.
Wow.
And I let them grow till they were about at least as big as a baseball, or bigger. And I said, well, it's the only mushroom that you can definitely eat that you know is not poisonous. I said, "What on the hell do you know about puffballs?" I said, "Because my father."
That's a lot of mushroom.
I said, and you saute them in butter and a
Oh, you
little
did?
garlic.
Oh,
yes!
no, wow.
Oh my God, they were from this one end of the yard to the other. But the thing was, when we never did anything that cost any money. So on Sundays, my father decided that we would drive around to graveyards looking for puffballs. And it sounds, and of course my mother would probably sit in the car, and my brother and I and my father would be running around looking in the very moist, shady places for puffballs. I actually never remember finding a puffball, and I don't remember my father ever cooking a puffball. But I do remember my mother saying, "Oh, Ed, no, this is too dangerous. No, we can't be sure." So I don't think he ever ate a puffball, but
Oh,
he
yeah?
always was searching for puffballs, and so just
Are they
Let's-
are they no longer around?
oh, well, I don't know. They only come out in the fall.
Oh,
They've
they
never
fall,
been in
okay.
this yard ever, and just the first fall after my father died, I looked in his yard, and there are puffballs growing.
Oh.
and it was kind of for my dad, and if it wasn't for my dad, I certainly wouldn't have known what they were. And
You have to
they-
find out what they were? I mean, like what kind
Oh,
of
I
mushroom
knew-
they are?
they're puffballs.
Are they,
I-
is that what they call puffball?
Yes,
That's what the
they're
mushroom
called
called puffball?
puffballs.
Okay.
Puff Latina.
Is it really?
I don't know what his Latin name is,
Oh.
but they are called puffballs, and I looked them up just to make sure. No, I ate it first, but they were so good. And,
Yeah, I
and
had
my
some.
neighbor,
Yeah,
you had
yeah,
some,
yeah.
and my neighbor got them.
No, they were
and
really
they just
good. Really?
kept growing for a month, and they were just absolutely amazing. And they were the flesh is pure white. It's just like you're cutting into I don't know. It's just so amazing, and it's just like the biggest mushroom you've ever seen in your life.